Hi, you're watching Access Community Television. I'm Yana Kalanzi, and today I'm very excited to be speaking with Lama Mugabo, who is a community activist and organizer, and we'll be discussing Black History Month and events that are taking place in Vancouver, along with the history of Black communities in our city. Thank you so much for coming by, Lama.
Thanks for inviting me.
Could you give us a bit of a background about Black presence in Vancouver and a bit of the systemic marginalization that these communities experience upon their arrival, and connect it to why Black History Month is so important to be celebrated?
Yes, the first large arrival of Blacks in British Columbia took place in 1858. 1858. There was a governor in Victoria called James Douglas, who was half Black. His mother was a Creole from Caribbean, and his father was European. And of course, James Douglas was sensitive to what was happening to Black people south of the border, and he invited 400 families to come up, and they settled in Victoria as well as Salt Spring Island. And then later in 1910, people started arriving in what was known as Hogans Alley, which is a community adjacent to Chinatown. This is where the viaducts are today. And the community thrived from 1910 all the way to 72. It was known for soul food, for jazz music, and but it was also a red light district, we must admit. So you can imagine all the musician greats that came to Vancouver, Miles Davis, Ella Fitzgerald, all of them ended up at Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix grew up at Hogans Alley. His mother, Nora Hendrix, founded the AME Church on, in Hogans Alley, which had more than 800 people who were registered members. So it was a very thriving community, and unfortunately, in the 30s and 40s, North American cities practiced something called the urban renewal, which was a tool that was really targeting Chinatown and Black inner city communities. And the whole thrust of urban renewal was to remove the blight. And this was done deliberately because the community would be allowed to go in disrepair. The city wouldn't pick up garbage. And when a house was vacant, the city would buy it, but they wouldn't cut the grass. So eventually it became the dumping ground for garbage. So the community ran down, and by 1972, people had been discouraged, and eventually they moved and the bulldozers came. In 2015, the city of Vancouver decided to tear down the viaducts, and the Black community here in Vancouver saw an opportunity to revitalize this neighborhood and honor the legacy of folks who live there. So this year, at the end of January, the rezoning application of these 2 blocks that will be available after the viaducts are removed will go before council, and we hope to bring back this Black community that was destroyed in 1972. And so far, the Black community Hogans Alley Working Group has been working with the city to redesign the area. The city hired a Black architect, Zina Howard, who has an amazing experience in revitalizing communities south of the border. And she, in fact, built the African American Museum of Culture and History in Washington, D.C. So we're really excited, and we hope that council will approve this rezoning application. And once it's approved, then the viaducts will be torn down and process of reconstruction will begin. So maybe 5 years or so.
Right. It's crazy how a lot of people don't realize that the city of Vancouver has played such a pivotal role in the displacement and erasure and dismantlement of Black diaspora in Vancouver, for sure. What Black history events are you going to be a part of this year, Lama, and where are they taking place?
Yes, so we're always excited when February comes around, regardless of the fact that this is the shortest month of the year. But we take pride in promoting our culture and really educating Canadians to understand the role that Black people have played over the years in developing the city, in doing all kinds of activities. So this year there will be activities throughout the city, and we invite folks to watch Hogans Alley Society website. It's hogansalley.org. We'll have activities here at Carnegie. There will be a panel discussion at UBC Learning Exchange, as well as the Vancouver Public Library, and the Vancouver International Film Festival will be screening some films to commemorate this amazing history. And so we hope that people can join in and enjoy it.
For sure. I went to the UBC Learning one last year, and it's really wonderful, and I urge our viewers to totally take time to check out all these events. But thank you so much for coming by, Lama. I really enjoyed catching up with you and hearing about all your wonderful initiatives.
Can I just flag 2 events?
Yeah.
There will be 2 book launches that you might be interested in. One is by our own Vancouver writer, Chelene Knight. She's releasing her first fiction called Dear Current Occupant, and this is coming up in March. Also in March, there's a sister from Montreal by the name of Robyn Mayard, who is going to launch her book on March 1st. It's called Policing Black Lives, State Violence in Canada from Slavery to Present. So these are really exciting events. We hope people can come and be part of this discussion. And
absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for coming by to Access, Lama. It's been a pleasure catching up with you.
My pleasure.